So now I'm gonna talk about the plastic covers and the tape itself. I did a small video a few days ago about prepping and cleaning before starting the work. And so yeah, today I'll explain why I'm using that kind of plastic, and I'll actually show you the box itself and why it's worth it. Um, a lot of people use like newspaper and stuff like that. It's not bad. Some people will actually say that the paint can actually go through it. When I'm stuck, actually, I use newspapers and other whatever paper I can actually find here and there, sales and stuff like that. It does the job, okay? It does the job. If you don't have a lot of money, just gather all the newspapers you can find, gather any sales you can find, and you can actually use it. But if you use the actual newspapers and everything, don't cheap out on those. This is the important stuff. Um, the actual tape. Don't use duct tape. Don't use anything else. Why use those kind of tape for body detailing when you're gonna paint a car, or like I'm doing, I'm sandblasting, and this is just my protection for now? Why use those? This, when you actually remove it, it won't damage the paint. And the other thing is, it's really solid. So when you actually, let's say I painted this surface, and I start removing the tape, and will be really close to the paint, this won't like completely tear off sideways, and then I have to scratch and try to get back that little corner and keep peeling it off. We don't want that, right? So this is extremely solid, and the way you remove it, I'm gonna show you an example. The way you remove some tape when you're done, you peel it off. Let's say this is the paint I just painted. You just peel off a corner, put like a 45-degree angle towards the inside, and you pull it toward the inside like that, and you keep going up, and you'll be safe. Never pull it that way. Never pull it straight. There's too much chance for a tear. And yeah, and it's useful because that kind of tape, if you remove it, you can actually put it back, as you can see right now. So it's really, really solid. The other thing is, it's flexible. I can do a corner, doesn't matter. I can do like fine detailing, does it? Right now it's not a good example because it's not prepped for painting, it's just prepped for protecting from the sandblast. But never cheap out on those. 3M got the 3/4 and the 2-inch. I suggest one roll of each. Right now, those already been used. They're not being used for this vehicle. They were already aptly used, so you got plenty. With one of each, you'll be fine. The goal is to use as less tape as possible when you tape, and this is where the plastic is better than the actual newspapers, because the newspapers you're gonna have a bunch, like all taped together, and you're gonna use a lot of tape. So for that, yeah, it's not really great. So what I suggest, since those are like $3 and $4 or something like that, so it costs a lot of money. So what I suggest is those. You buy those plastics. This is the best. Blue sheeting, 12 foot by 400, okay? So when it's in the box, you see it's not that wide, but it's actually like, there's like 3 layers on each side. And when you open it, it actually goes larger, like you can see right here. So that's the middle part, and I just flip it on both sides until I reach what I want. And what I do after that, I just roll it inside. You can actually see what I roll inside, and I just keep the side that I need, and I tape from there. And I go around, and what you do can be a bit tricky at start, because the wind can actually get in it. So I just tear off like little parts, little pieces that I just take on my hand. And what I do, as I go, I bend it, like I flip it inside, I put one tag, pack. I just keep going a bit higher, then I put another one. I'll just try to show you an example. Let's say I was doing the door. So what I did with the door is started up. So what I did, I decided I started with this corner. I put one piece right there. Boop, first one. I stretch it to the other side, and I put another one in this corner. Took. There I put two of them on the top. Then I started rolling on this side, and I kept going. Put another one there, kept going lower, lower. There's another one there. Once, like every maybe 5 inch. And after I did all around, then I start taping really a long stretch, and I cover it like that. So that's your best option. And there's static on this plastic, and the great part about that is if you're on a flat surface, even though there's some wind, it's gonna stay there. It's really, really solid. If you guys saw one of my videos a bit earlier this week, there was a huge thunderstorm, and I've been caught straight in it while I was working. And you see, I taped that side. The reason why it's over tape is because I fucked up on the size, and actually there's no plastic at all, so I just filled up with 2 inch. But you see, this resisted to a thunderstorm from 2 days ago, and this has been taped for at least 7 days, 6 or 7 days, and I'm completely outside. This really solid, so it didn't tear up. This is one of the pockets that I made because sometimes I work and I just put tools, so I made my own pocket. So this is really, really solid. There was a load of bad weather for the past week, and a lot of wind, a lot of lightning strike and everything. So there was a lot of water dropping on it, and there is no hole, nowhere at all. It's extremely solid, and like I'm telling you, with that tape and a well prep with a wax and grease remover to clean before taping, it's gonna be perfect. And yeah, I'll show you the wax and grease remover quickly, which type I'm using, and that'd be all. So yeah, 3M tape for body detailing and the blue sheet. It's really perfect. So you can actually use it for inside after that, for painting in your house. So yeah, I was telling you about the wax and grease remover, and those are the rags that I'm actually using to apply the wax and grease remover. So the first thing is the wax and grease remover. It doesn't matter which company. This one is a one choice, whatever. It costs about $60 to $80 depending on the company. There was one video I explained there is some that comes in metal canister, others come in plastic. I prefer those in the metal canisters. They're a bit stronger, and depending if you're using a gun spray or you got a compressor, you can actually put it in your gun and actually shoot it with the gun. But I do it by hand usually. So what I do, I got one rag to apply the wax and grease remover, and another one in my other hand to just like wipe it off right after. And it's really fast. Like you do one swipe, 2, 3, 4, and it's already starting to evaporate. So you have to be really, really quick. So yeah, wax and grease remover is a number one, whatever you do for detailing, because this saves your life from getting reaction in your paint, and actually it helps with the tape. Whatever the tape you use, sometimes you'll tape on the the weather strips, and weather strips are really hard to tape on because they got that kind of oil on them, and that removes it. So it's really useful, and it's going to help you out to tape on surface you wouldn't be able usually. And for the rags, any part shops, they'll sell them maybe $20, sometimes $30 for 25 pounds. What I suggest is go to some thrift shops, and you'll pay a lot less. So on that, good luck.